Hey, what's up, guys? So as you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be lowering the front end of the Jag. Before we dive into that though, I want to update you guys on a few things. One being that the blinkers are finally working. At the end of part 5, I wasn't able to show you guys the blinkers in action due to a faulty flasher relay. That has obviously since been replaced and the blinkers are finally working. I did see you guys' comments about using Jaguar XJS Series 2 blinker housings. I think I'm going to hold off installing these just because I am going to need to drill a hole for the daytime running light and bore out the existing hole in the car to accommodate the housing. On top of that, I really like the way these blinkers look on the car, especially with the LEDs. They're plenty bright enough for the road, and I like the look a lot. Another thing, I did upgrade the headlights. These are made by Dapper Lighting. This is their 575 series. You could customize these to be a really crazy headlight. You could get black housings, halos, built-in LEDs, built-in daytime running lights, a clear lens. Really simple setup, like I said. The only thing I've optioned was for OE glass, which adds a diffuser in the glass and a chrome housing. Obviously, being a projector, it's a big upgrade over stock, and actually I could show you guys that now. Excuse me. Really nice cutoff line, and on top of all that, it looks stock, it looks OEM, looks like it could have came this way from the factory. They look great. Another thing that I did to the car, it's kind of a big thing really, I put new wheels on the car. I plan on running these wheels with some bigger calipers and rotors. These are 18 by 8. These are used wheels. They're made by a company named AZA. This is the AR1 model. Eventually, I do want to upgrade the rear to 18 by 9 or 18 by 9.5, but that will be later down the road. I'm really happy with the stance of the car so far. One thing that we're going to be addressing today in this video is the ride height. The front is way too high. It actually sits higher than the rear. And so I'm hoping with the lowering springs, it will fix that issue. All right, so I think I updated you guys on everything. I'm gonna pull this in the garage and I'll show you guys what springs I got. Okay, so I got the car in the garage on a jack and some jack stands. Just got done with this side, and I'm gonna show you guys how I'm doing it on this side. So what I'm doing is I'm taking out one bolt at a time and replacing it with 3/8 rod. The thread pitch is unique. The TPI is unique. It's 24. I actually had to order this off of Amazon. I ordered 2 3-foot sections and cut it down into 1-foot sections. Using the 2-knot method, threaded it in its place and then snugged up the nut up top. The bolt size and nut size are 9/16. It's the 4 bolts that need to be replaced with rod, and then once you get all 4 rods in place, you slowly loosen each nut equally. And what I would do also, mark the rod with a Sharpie, make sure you're backing out the nut only and not the rod, and the spring will slowly come down. Installing the springs the exact opposite. Put the spring in place, and then you're gonna tighten each bolt until the spring's fully in place, and then remove the rod one at a time, and then put the bolt and your nuts back in place. So the springs I got the springs from Simply Performance. This is their sports spring. They offer 2 springs. Sports spring should drop the car about 40 millimeters, and the road spring will lower the car about 25 millimeters. Just measured the stock spring, and it's 12 inches high. The sport springs, they're about 8 3/4. Somebody at some point, I don't think that's stock. Those are nylon shims. I don't think that's factory, but somebody added those in this place, and then they had to replace the springs as well because these don't look too bad of shape. But I got exactly a 2-inch drop installing the new springs without the shims, which is perfect. And that's actually just about 40 millimeters, considering that I I took out the shims, and then also the new tires are a different aspect ratio opposed to the stock. I did install the stock wheel and tire setup on this side just because I wanted to see what it looks like with the car fully lowered with the new wheels and also the old wheels. All right, so I'm gonna put you guys on the time lapse. I'm gonna get to work. Okay, so this is what it looks like with all 4 rods in place. Now all we have to do is slowly loosen the nuts and drop the spring pan. Okay, so about 45 minutes later, I finally got the spring out. As long as the spring pan, kind of funny. Looks like there's a, actually this is a exhaust manifold bolt. That's actually kind of funny. I don't know if that's from me or from one of the previous owners, but that's funny. All right, so now that that's out, you guys could see the nylon shims in there, and then all the crud that's built up over 30 years or whenever the last time the spring was replaced. But I'm gonna clean this out real fast, and then I'll install the new spring. All right guys, so it's a new day and the front end has been lowered, both left and right. So something right off the bat you guys might notice is the original wheels are back on the car. Yesterday I think I ran over a nail, which is okay because of the new wheels need new tires anyways, but I think this will give you a better perspective of how much it lowered the front end of the car. Another thing is that I removed the side trim, and so now I'm gonna have to have the rivet holes patched up. No big deal. And then something else you guys might notice is that this car needs a repaint. I think I'm gonna repaint it the Nimbus white. I was gonna repaint it red, but the Nimbus white has really grown on me a lot, and I really like the color. I think this will give you guys a really good idea on how much higher the rear end sits now than the front. About an inch and a half difference. Just went for a test drive, and I'm able to get full left and right lock without rubbing. So that's awesome. And overall, I'm really happy with the way the stances of the car. It looks really, really good. It sucks I wasn't able to show you guys what the new wheels was looking like on the car, but once I get new tires for the car, I'll definitely show you guys that in part 7, I think we're up to now. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. There's a few takeaways from this is that really easy mod. I think anybody could do it in about 2 hours. The biggest hurdle for me was getting the 3/8 fine threaded rod here to Alaska. I literally checked everywhere high and low for a local shop, store, whatever it may be, for fine thread 3/8 rod. The thread per inch is 24, and no one had it, so I had to order it from Amazon, which took a week to get here. And then the job itself was only about 2 hours. So if you're on the fence about doing it, I'd say go ahead and do it. The springs themselves aren't that expensive. I got my springs from Simply Performance out in England. They're eibach springs. I would highly suggest go check them out. They're the same guys that made the headers for my car, and they're a huge help. They make 2 springs, like I said earlier. If you don't want to go this low, they also have a spring that will lower the car about an inch. So if you don't want to lower the car, you know, 1.5, 2 inches, definitely go with that option. But all right, guys, I'm gonna call it here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.